Lipsmackin' Campin' is brought to you by MSR Stoves and Cookware, makers of the legendary Whisperlight stove and the award-winning Reactor stove system. MSR has been fueling outdoor adventure for over 40 years.
Hi, welcome to Lipsmackin' Campin'. My name is Christine.
And I'm Tim Connors.
And today we're going to be looking at how to filter your water, the 4 basic methods.
The threats to water are primarily microbial and chemical. The 4 primary methods of treating water are heat by boiling, there's chemical treatment, there is mechanical filtration, filtration in general, and then a relatively new method that's on the market is ultraviolet light. And we'll talk about each one of those in more detail as we move forward, and we'll give a couple of examples. The first method, and the one that's been around the longest, is the method of boiling. Boiling will kill any microbe, either bacteria or virus, cyst or protozoa. If you get your water over 165 degrees, you will eventually be able to kill any of those threats. The problem is it takes time and it takes fuel. And also, the process of boiling doesn't improve the taste of water. So if you're taking water out of a source like this, where the water is a little bit murky, might have an inherent taste to it, boiling won't take care of that. If your water source is fairly pure to begin with, and all you need to treat against is bacteria or protozoas and cysts, ultraviolet light is an option that's new to the market. You have ultraviolet light pens that go down, you insert into your water after you draw it from the source, and you treat it for a few seconds, and that kills the microbes. The nice thing about that is if you're drawing from a pure water source, an otherwise pure water source, you don't alter the taste of the water. So if you're drawing from a spring, for instance, you get that fresh spring taste without it being altered through chemical or mechanical filtration. If you're in areas that might have viral or bacterial contamination, chemical treatment is an option. Iodine tablets, sodium hypochlorite. Christine has an example of an iodine treatment kit right here. There are issues though with treating your water day after day chemically in terms of the safety of that, and it also can change the taste of the water as well. The fourth and final method is filtration, and there's different variances of filtration. There's mechanical filtration where you use a pump type device. There's gravity type filtration where you let gravity do the work. We'll show examples of both of those. But the good thing about filtration is that a filtering device will remove all of the sediment from your water. It will take out, if it's carbon activated, it'll take out pesticides, and it removes all bacteria. Filtration doesn't typically remove viruses, and you'll need, if you're in say a developing country where there's a threat of virus, you will need a backup such as what Christine just mentioned with the chemical tablets. Okay, here we have a MSR Sweetwater filter. Nice thing about the Sweetwater is the handle design. It's designed to fold flat against the body of the filter. Right? The handle design is such that you flip it over and you put the pin through it to give you a very high degree of mechanical advantage when you're pumping. It's designed so that as you pump the filter, there's water being forced through the filter on both strokes, up and down. So it really leads to a really efficient filtration, and you can pump a liter of water in short order. And this here is the Platypus Gravity Works. It works great when you're drawing water from a stream, for instance, or a source that has a good flow rate. You wouldn't want to use this type of method in trying to draw water from, say, a very small spring, in which case the mechanical pump type filter works best. But this is great for a creek. You scoop up your dirty water in the bag that's marked dirty. You can get a full gallon of water in there, and then you attach your tubes, your filter to the clean water bag, and then You go ahead and hang dirty over your clean, and within a couple minutes you end up with a gallon of clean water. And then what you can do, you have your gallon of clean water, scoop up another bag for camp and carry them both back to camp, and you have 2 gallons of water. You can take as you need it, you can draw from your dirty and filter that back at camp.
The platypus is a great option when you're confident about your water source.
One very important point to make when drawing water for filtration is to select a source that's as clean as possible. Obviously your options are limited, but what you're looking for, say in a creek like this that's flowing, you want to make sure that you're not drawing from a foamy area or an area where there's a lot of turbulence and silt in the water. When you have when you're putting your filter in the water, if you're using a mechanical filter, for instance, you want to make sure that you're not drawing from the silt at the bottom of the creek or your water source, because you clog up your filter quite rapidly. In this installment of Lip Smackin' Campin', we learned about the threats to water safety when we're out on the trail and what we can do to treat it to make it safe to drink.
We hope you'll join us for another episode of Lip Smackin' Campin'.
For hundreds of mouth-watering camp recipes and invaluable information for making your next camp trip memorable for all the right reasons, check out Tim and Christine Connor's best-selling series of books. For more information or to purchase books, visit lipsmackincampin.com.